Hello and welcome everybody to my update video for my 5th month of studying Korean using the Mass Immersion Approach. I'll be honest, to start things off for this video, I was a little nervous to actually just get started right before I hit record. I had a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of nervous energy, and definitely part of that is caused from me not having a ton of experience on camera and recording these videos. Although these past few months have been huge in allowing me to practice and get better at it. But something bigger than that aspect of it was definitely the idea that I was going to be talking a little bit about failures in this video. And not to scare anybody off, but because I'm also going to talk about transforming that energy and ending up with something better, and my process in kind of moving beyond those failures. And not exactly complete failures, but you know, there's always some things don't go exactly how you want them to the first time. But anyway, I'll be getting into that as I go into this video. To start off my month, in my last update video, I was talking about how I had just gone through the Korean Grammar in Use Intermediate after going through the first 6 Talk to Me in Korean levels. So yeah, the Korean Grammar in Use Beginner, I don't know if I said intermediate earlier, I meant beginner. It really helped kind of flesh out a little bit of my understanding for those things. And I was feeling pretty good about where I was at with my process, and things were just getting going, I felt like. And I hinted that I was going to be starting some new projects and trying some new things this month. And it's honestly been kind of crazy. So I started with my Twitch stream. My goal was to create a Twitch stream where I could learn Korean from these video games for a couple of hours twice a week, just as a way for me to have a different source of learning Korean, but also engage a little bit more with the community and meet some more people engaged in learning Korean, not just in the MIA crowd, but also a little bit wider, because it's been such an important thing for me. Learning Korean has been a growing passion ever since I started. It's just become more important to me as time goes on. So I thought it would be fun to come at it from that angle and create a fun atmosphere, pretty relaxed, and also just learn how to create that sort of stream that I would want to be a part of. So I got that going and hit my targets every week. Right after I started that stream though, I also uploaded my kind of meme routine video, and that was a lot of fun to record. And I borrowed a camera from my boss to be able to shoot that, and luckily, he was really cool about letting me borrow it for a little while, because it took me a little while to kind of get the shooting, get everything right. I had to buy some memory card and figure out a couple of things with some lighting and figure out how to use the camera, kind of learn a lot of these things from the go. So it was a cool experience learning how to do that. And then of course, Pixel Parker edited the video and did a wonderful job. Super impressed with his skills. So that was a lot of fun to work on. And I kind of used that as a little bit of a advertisement for my Twitch stream. I stuck in a little advertisement at the end, and that actually brought some new people to the stream after seeing the video. It really kind of sparked, that was like the spark of something new for me. Like really exciting times, but also really kind of new territory that I had never really dove into before. Being kind of more public figure in the community was something that was kind of bound to happen if I continued down this route, but I ended up meeting a lot of people doing this and learning about how an online presence kind of affects what you do, and like, the schedule involved with that. Like there's definitely a lot of things that introduced into my life that I didn't have before. Up until the beginning of the month, Korean was my main thing. I would go to work, listen to Korean there, come home and do Korean stuff here. It was a simple life. I am a single guy right now with not a lot of responsibilities at this point in my life, so I had the time to spend on all of it. But when I kind of wanted a little more out of the situation and wanted to give back a little bit more, wanted to produce content, create content that maybe other people would enjoy or hopefully see if they would enjoy, I just started launching into it. And honestly, I would say the video was an absolute success, in just like everything that I wanted it to be. And the Twitch stream also, that turned out to be pretty much exactly what I had planned on it being. There's a few people who come by every time I stream, which is twice a week whenever I can get the days off, and just hang out. And we learned some goofy words. Minul-chang, which is halberd. That's kind of a meme from some of the people who've been there. It's not a word that I'm going to need to use all the time, but there are also other words that are more helpful than just like these RPG fantasy battle combat words, As I started going down this path, I gotta say, it introduced a lot of complications to what was a pretty simple life before that. I suddenly had to think about planning my next stream and how much I would want, how much effort I wanted to put into it, and whether or not I wanted to commit, and thinking of video ideas and all of that. So as I spent time making this video and planning my Twitch stream, the amount of immersion time I got kind of went down and sort of, I don't want to say flatlined, but just took a huge hit. And in retrospect, I think the amount of immersion and studying I was getting, it was still probably more than your like average casual Korean learner would do per day. But to me, after months of just heavy immersion and lots of vocab and stuff, this was a huge hit. At least that's what it felt like. I was only learning a handful of words each day, like maybe 3 to 5. This is around the middle of the month, and I hit this sort of tipping point where I realized that I was focusing on trying to get this stuff off the ground, and I knew that I could see like a near future where a lot of this stuff was going to take care of itself. But there was also how I was also noticing how much it was affecting my actual immersion time. And then I had this kind of new hat that I was wearing. I mean, obviously I wear hats in like almost every video, but like a metaphorical hat, the streamer hat, the content creator hat, video guy, YouTuber, that sort of thing. Kind of an identity shift I'd never really grappled with before. So all in all, I started feeling a little bit lost for a moment, knowing I think I knew all along that it was going to work out, and I just needed to lift these projects off the ground a little bit, and that doing Anki every day. I did my Anki reps every day just to keep on top of that, and added a few words, and every once in a while I was looking up some grammar and watching some shows and listening at work. I was still listening at work, but I just started feeling, like wondering how I could continue to make sense of this new process and introduce a little bit more structure in my life. And so I actually happened across getting back into this streamer who is he's the CEO or co-CEO, co-founder of Nerd Fusion. His name's Devin Nash, and he streams on YouTube, on Twitch, and he does industry stuff. And he's made a lot of YouTube videos from content that he did on his stream about like how to function as a content creator. And honestly, having a little bit of that direction really kind of helped me like put things into perspective and see what it was that I was doing and what I could do to make my life easier, and to also make what I'm doing more effective, so that I can actually make content that somebody's gonna want to watch. Because that's like really my goal. Like I don't want to just put stuff out there that's going to be useless to everybody. I think that would be like a net negative if I was going to put something out that sucked and nobody thought it was great. And I don't just mean that like that it's bad, but like that it's not useful, So finding his content and getting into that, I ended up spending a lot of my work time listening to these podcasts, these YouTube videos. Some of them are 40 minutes long, 2 hours long. Through that same process, began watching more of Dr. K. And for those of you who don't know who Dr. K is, he runs Healthy Gamers, which is like this organization where he's helping a lot of these people. He does a lot of Twitch streamers and gamers, trying to help them like grapple with things in life and to figure out a better plan for themselves and figure out why it is the way they are, just general like life help stuff. And I realized that I identified so much with some of the stuff that was appearing in these videos, and it caused me to go through a lot of introspection. Like why did I choose MIA out of all things? Why am I learning Korean? I've never had a clear answer for that to anybody, and it's not entirely clear to me, although it's like solely based on a feeling that I have. Just I feel absolutely right about learning Korean. It just feels like the right thing to do, and for me that's actually enough, believe it or not. So yeah, I started kind of doing a little bit of introspection and thinking about my life and my past and my future, and kind of deciding what it was that I wanted to do in the future, the kinds of things that I wanted to not let get in my way of seeing that come into fruition. So with that, I kind of went through this period of maybe a week where I was watching a lot of these during work and not immersing as much at work. And I was getting worried that I was going too far into the trying to optimize and create a better plan and structure and stuff. I was going too far into that direction and away from the whole reason why I'm doing all of this, and that's to learn Korean. I need to learn Korean, immerse, study. There's a genuine period of darkness where I was worried. I was like, oh man, I know I got this project that I want to lift off, but then I also want this to kind of develop myself a little bit and figure out how to move beyond some of this stuff in my past and reach out forward and get outside of my comfort zone, move on to bigger things, create something better, something awesome. And so I did reach a point where I was like, okay, I actually feel ready to kind of dip back in, but I knew I was going to need a plan. I knew I was going to need some structure and some actual tools to help approach the problem that I have, because I realized the problem that I have was, how do I balance all of these things? And that's, once I defined that problem, it became a simple solution. And the start of that was going to bed early. I had been fixing my sleep schedule a little bit in the months before, getting a little bit better, but I am rigorous about it now. This month I have been making sure that my computer's off at 11. I don't even turn the computer. I turn the computer off at 11. The red light filter, I crank that, or the blue light filter, I crank that all the way down as far as it will go, starting at 9:30. Anything I'm doing in that is just in this orange glow of the flux blue light filter. And so I start to feel myself actually get tired. And so that was kind of a keystone habit, so to speak, something that I could form these other things around. And because I was getting off earlier, I had time to start writing down. I don't know if I had read it somewhere in the past. It wasn't somewhere recent, but I started writing down every single little thing that I wanted to get done tomorrow in the next day. And I would do that the night before, so that the next day I could just look down my list. I wouldn't have to think about it. I wouldn't have to decide. I wouldn't know. I just go okay, yeah, this is the thing. And so I started mixing those tasks I wanted to get into my Korean immersion time. So I was just I'd go, okay, well, I'll immerse all night, but then I'll, periodically I'll set a timer for, 20 minutes to work on this project, or this, work on my Twitch stream, work on a thumbnail, work on, my YouTube stuff, learn a little bit about something, watch a YouTube video on how to do this, how to do that, and kind of work that back into my process. And after all of that journey, I felt like I finally had the direction, and I had gone through, the depths of what I was dealing with to come back and fight through whatever problems I had. And I felt like I had the tools in my tool bag to succeed and to be able to, approach to these problems that come up. So I was hanging out on Seabolt's Discord. Seabolt Speaks, for those of you who don't know, is a YouTuber who does, right now he's doing Japanese MIA. And he's a good guy, really positive dude. He shares a ton about the process of him learning Japanese with MIA, more so than a lot of people do for learning. So if you're curious about that, he's a good channel to check out. That's Seabolt Speaks. So I was hanging out in his Discord, chatting with somebody, and we decided, because Seabolt has been doing this 40-hour challenge where he decided he wanted to do 40 hours of immersion in a week. And that was 20 hours of passive immersion and then 20 hours of active study time, where he's just actively engaged, doing the grammar, learning the vocab, watching shows and actively trying to understand what's going on and looking up words, all of that, right? And so because I knew I had the time before, and now I felt like I had these tools, I decided with one other person in the Discord that we were going to do a 70-hour challenge. 70 hours of immersion in 1 week. That's 10 hours of immersion a day for 7 days. And I decided to go for it. And I started hitting it. And for the first few days, I could look at my time here, but it was 11 hours and then 12 hours. And then 11 hours. Yeah, so 11, 12, 12, 11. And then it went down because I was feeling sick one night. And so that went down to 8 hours. And then yesterday it was 10. And today is not very much so far. It's already getting late in the day. I'm still gonna be able to hit the 70 hours, but I got ahead early in the week. And after the stream this morning, all we did in the stream was fly in Microsoft Flight Simulator from Seoul to Busan. Just had fun, just kind of memeing and doing barrel rolls and checking out the beautiful Korean countryside. Just absolutely gorgeous, even just in the game. And for those of you who have not seen footage from the game, even with my graphic settings pretty low because of my older computer, the game looks absolutely phenomenal. And Korea looked great. We were just flying right down below, above the towns, between mountains, through rivers and valleys and forests and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And that was my first stream as a Twitch affiliate, because I was proud to have accomplished getting the affiliate status in Twitch, which means like there's some guidelines you have to hit. You have to have so many subscribers and so many hours streamed, so many days streamed in a month, and so many average viewers. And I was able to hit all of those marks, which is something I couldn't have done without the help of the community and all of the new friends I'm making from different Discord communities and Twitch communities. So that felt really good. I have, as of a couple hours ago, I have 70 followers on Twitch, which is just unbelievable. I think I started this all with 18, and some of those are like my family members. Yeah. And then also another milestone that I just hit was 300 subscribers on YouTube. So that's absolutely, it feels huge to me. Just the support that I'm getting for what I'm trying to do, and even though it's a little rough around the edges, is just absolutely amazing. So I am very thankful for all of that. And basically, this kind of brings me now towards the, moving forward from all of this. I feel pretty good now about like the tools I have to succeed and to be able to really get into immersion and make that a really powerful aspect of my Korean learning process. And one of those has been reading. So in the past week, I've spent most of my active time, which comes out to be about 3 hours per day, because I can listen for like 9 hours at work, going to work, all the way through work, coming home from work, getting ready, all of that kind of stuff. I can listen to condensed audio for like 8-9 hours. But for most of those 3 hours, I was doing reading. So the Yonsei reader has been absolutely crazy. Being able to read through these passages has really kind of brought everything to a little bit better level. It kind of joined it together, made it much more firm foundation. And I'm really excited to be moving forward and to doing more reading. I finished the Yonsei Reader 1, and I started the second one a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday. And it's been huge. I'm like really excited to get back into reading. Basically, as soon as I get done making this video, I'm going to be doing lots of reading, and I'm going to be continuing to watch new shows so that I can have new stuff to listen to at work. I listen to a lot of the same stuff. A lot of these condensed audio shows. Like I made a condensed audio for the show Who Are You? It's 16 hours, 16 1-hour long episodes. Condensed it down to dialogue 8 hours. I can just start that in the morning, basically when I'm clocking in, and I finish it as I'm clocking out. It's kind of a lot to handle in one day, but I'm looking forward to like expanding out the repertoire. You guys know what I'm trying to say. The repertoire. I don't know. It's a weird French word. Looking forward to expanding out the types of shows I can watch. There we go. But also, I have to say, I'm not shying away from trying new things in my Twitch and YouTube. And I have some things in my back pocket that I'm going to be trying to put into play this month. And I don't want to say too much about it just because I want to just work on it and focus on it and try to make it happen. But there should be some new content coming out both on my Twitch stream, but then also on my YouTube. Before I go, one thing I was going to touch on is just like the sort of kind of new changes in the MIA community that might be coming ahead. I don't know how much is going to affect it, but Matt announced on his Discord that Yoga left. He's no longer working with Matt. And so that kind of shook things up a little bit over there. And Matt assured that, he's going to continue working on it, the MIA stuff. And I honestly think that, yeah, there's no reason to believe that it wouldn't continue to be completely fine. We don't know any reasons as of shooting this video, but there are, a million different reasons why people split up for projects and stuff. It happens all the time. So I'm not really, there's nothing essentially that spells doom for the project or anything. I'm optimistic about the future, and it's such a powerful thing, such a powerful platform, and the Matt has a lot of fans and support that I think will be able to make it through all of this. But there's a little bit up in the air with what's going to go on with the MIA community, and that's kind of exciting to look forward to. So yeah, as things move forward next month, I'm going to be reading a lot. I'm going to be finishing up Talk to Me in Korean, all of the curriculum there. I'm working through level 8. This was a little bit of a slow month in the first part of the month, like I explained, but I recently started picking the speed up again. And I've actually started learning more words than I was, about 15 words a day, 12 to 15. And right now I think it's a good spot for me. I've gotten better at being able to remember the words and learn them. So looking forward to seeing how that works out. Yeah, it's been a wild month for me. I hope all of you have been doing well. I really appreciate you guys listening through to these updates, especially for those of you who listen all the way through. I know there are a few of you out there, but really any amount of support that you guys show, just from adding another view count to the video or just commenting, telling me, what you think about the updates, it's just really awesome. And for all the follows on Twitch, and my first subscribers today on Twitch was crazy. 4 new subscribers. I'll have some emotes ready for them soon, hopefully. And then yeah, the 300 subscribers on YouTube, which is wild. I'm curious to see how that community is going to grow, and we'll see what I can do to offer something good for the community. Hopefully, I'm always open to suggestions for people. If they have suggestions for ideas and video ideas, you can message me on Discord or type in the comments or whatever. But yeah, I am looking forward to the next month, and I hope it's a good one. I hope you are studying hard, immersing a lot, and learning tons of Korean. So until next time, catch you later.